Hi everyone, I'm Bonnie from Make Time to Craft. I hope you're loving the new 3D pop-up dies from Cheery Lynn Designs as much as I am. While they make a major impact just by popping up when you open the card, I found that by adding some color, they really pop off the page. Today I'm going to show you a few ways that I found to add color to the pop-ups quickly and easily. The first way I've used on this card with the pop-up flowers. What I did with this card is I just cut the flowers again in the pink color and the green color, and I snipped off the parts that I wanted and I just glued them over the pop-up. Same way that I did with the thanks here. I cut this out of a dotted design paper, and then I just trim each letter out and adhere it over the pop-up. You can either affix some stick-it adhesive to the back of this before you cut it and peel and stick it down, or use wet adhesive, whichever you prefer. The only thing that I suggest if you're doing this is to trim the letters just a tiny bit smaller on the bottom, just to give it some room to easily close. You're adding a little bit of bulk to this, so you want to still be able to get it to close down flat. Another option, which I did here and also here, is I used some distress inks. This one I went for an ombre effect by using 3 different colors of distress ink and a soft brush to apply it, which I'll show you next. And on this one I also used 3 different colors of distress ink. I kind of layered them, and then I flicked some water on to get the look of like water droplets on there, just for a little extra interest. So in order to do that, before I fold the pop-up, when it's still flat, what I'm gonna do is mask off anything that I don't want there to be ink on. And I use stick-it papers just because they're inexpensive and they're easy to use, and they have that little light bit of adhesive that comes off easily, but it's enough to stop the ink from going where I don't want it to. So what I do is mask all around the entire thing. I'm not going to do that, and I have one that I've already prepared. So really you just want to mask out anything that you don't want to get ink on. So I have it all masked and ready to go. I'm using a soft bristle clarity brush today. These work great for brushing ink on. And I have 3 different colors of distress ink. I have spun sugar, worn lipstick, and picked raspberry. So I'm going to start with the lightest color and ink up my brush. Oops, move it down so you can see. And with the lightest color, I go ahead and I just ink the whole word. And just keep re-inking the brush and brushing the color on until you're satisfied that it's as dark as you want it. And that looks pretty good to me for the lightest color. So now I'm going to go to worn lipstick, same brush. I pretty much do all my pinks with the same brush. Now I'm going to try to avoid inking the very top of the word because I want that to stay my lightest color. So again, I'm just going to keep re-inking my brush a couple times until I get it to the point where I'm satisfied with the color that's there. And then we'll work to the last color, which is picked raspberry. And I'm going for just the bottom of the word this time, because I want it to be tonal light to dark at the bottom. And you can keep working, adding the color till it gets to the color density that you want. I'm satisfied with the way that is right now, so we'll put the ink pads to the side, and then all you have to do is remove your post-it notes, which save these because you can use them again. As long as there's some adhesive on the back still, they're fine to reuse. Just pull them out, and your word is inked up and ready to move on to the next step of folding it, which we'll do in a different video. Now I have one more ready to go to show you the other technique that I've used. Whoops, let me move my paper so the pink doesn't show through. This time we're going to do some purples. So I have Shaded Lilac, Dusty Concord, and Wilted Violet, and I'm using a little sponge dauber to add the color. So again, I usually just start with the lightest color and pretty much cover the entire word. Just like circular motions. You want to be careful like around the S, because you don't want it to catch and bend that end of the S up, but for the most part it's pretty forgiving. You don't have to be terribly careful. So once you got that color on, move to your next color, and I'm going to go for leaving like the center a little bit lighter in color, but you could, this is totally preference, however you want it to look. And if you ink from the edges, you don't get any big globs of darker color in there. And again, ink it until you like the way it looks. Move on to your next color. I usually kind of wipe off the old color on the side. And coming in from the edge to add a little darkness. And that looks pretty good to me for now. And what I had done with this one is I flicked a little water on. Just the distress inks will react with water, and it'll give it a little droplet effect on there, which gives it a look of a little texture. Not sure if that's going to show up great on the video. You know, flick some water on, give it a little heat set to make sure that's dry. And then I usually I'll let it dry a little bit better than that, but for the video we're going to move quicker. And I usually go back with my lighter color again, just because I don't want it to be too light where I did the water flicking. And I'll come in and darken it up a little bit. But if you like it with the more contrast with the water droplets, then leave it without the re-inking there. It all depends on what your preference is. But I like the way that looked. That was quick and easy. Pull off the post-it notes. And this one is ready as well. That was quick, that was easy. It gives you a pop of really interesting looking color, and it added no bulk whatsoever. So there's any number of ways to add colors to your pop-ups, so you should experiment with different mediums and see what you like the best. So thanks so much for stopping by, and if you haven't seen the assembly tutorial for the pop-ups, head on over to my YouTube channel and look for that. Be sure to subscribe to my channel so you'll be notified when I add new videos. Happy crafting!